Hello everyone. So I received a question on my channel, I think a couple of days back. The question was about risk management. Now, the question was how can we do risk management in Jira? And this question is actually similar to other questions where people ask things like how to do employee management in Jira, how to do contract management in Jira, how to do this in Jira, or how to do that in Jira. Now, there are a lot of cases where, in fact, a lot of cases where I definitely recommend not using Jira. Yes, for example, if you have a choice, let us say in your organization you are using Salesforce, and you're also using an employee management system, and you also have Jira, and if someone says, okay, we want to maybe use Jira for client management. Now, if you're not really planning to phase out your Salesforce, then there is no point of using Jira. And this is, of course, just one example. I mean, I would not say not use Jira. I would say why you are interested in using Jira, not SharePoint, because not SharePoint, Salesforce, because Salesforce is a tool. It's a platform. It is quite big, and it is, of course, very popular among organizations where they can, of course, start using Salesforce from day one. And Salesforce, even if we talk about the contact management or client management or CRM, this is what Salesforce was built, and this is what Salesforce is doing, and people have, I guess, certifications around it. So that is, of course, definitely going to be my first question. But in cases where you're looking for like a lightweight alternative, and the same goes for risk management. Now, risk. So let us talk about risk. I think this video is more about risk rather than various use cases. Now, risk is nothing but a way to tell stakeholders that if we don't do this by this time, if we don't get this information, if we don't unblock this, or if let us say something goes wrong based on this information, then we are not able to make progress. Now, in Jira, all you need to do, by the way, there are apps that you can use straight away to use Jira for risk management, but you don't really have to. You can actually simply create one issue type called risk, and simply use that issue type to raise risk, right? That is it. Now, risk on its own, those risks that you have in Jira, of course, it will have its own workflow. It will also be presented somewhere to someone. And when it comes to risk, people usually want to create some kind of a risk register or RAID, whatever you want to call it, where they have a table of all the risk with some weightage, some scoring, and if the score is more than certain number, then you want to highlight it. Now, what you can do in Jira is you can create one issue type called risk, and within that issue type, you can have different fields. Those fields could be impact, whatever score that you have, and then based on the score, let us say you raise a risk. Maybe it's a low priority. It's not really. It is unlikely that it will cause anything major. So the score is low, and then you don't really have to worry about it. But the score can be high for that particular issue. Now, what you will do with this particular score is you will combine these different measures or these different fields or these different scores, and then you will probably calculate something. Maybe you have your own formula, and maybe display it somewhere. And for displaying it somewhere, I of course recommend if you are thinking of using, if you already have eazyBI, for example, because eazyBI is something that will, of course, cover a lot of use cases. Of course, it's an app. Yeah, I know it's an app, but if you're looking for that RAID view, that risk register kind of a view, where you have a table with some numbers in red color, orange color, green color, then you can actually use eazyBI to do that. And that is why I say that when you're trying to use an app that can be used for different things, like script runner. right? You can do a lot of wonderful things with script now. Now talking about that value, that score that you will calculate for the risk, you can also use another calculated field in Jira to calculate the score at the issue level in case you want to search for those issues, because when you have scripted field, or if you are maybe using a listener to update a field, then you should be able to search it, right, using your JQL. But if you have eazyBI, then you can of course write your own measure, your own calculated measure to calculate that risk based on that score or different scores. So yeah, I'm not really showing you anything today, but try it yourself and give it a shot. You should be able to definitely do something. And we should always remember, and this is something that I repeat over and over again, Jira essentially is an issue tracker, right? So issue is basically what it is, not really a negative word, it is basically a terminology in Jira. So your risk is an issue, your story, your epic is an issue, your bug is an issue. So eventually you're using Jira to create those issues of different types. Now what you do with that information is up to you, because maybe if you don't really want to use eazyBI, you can always pull data from Jira, dump it to maybe, I don't know, CSV, then do the processing elsewhere. I have videos on how to fetch, not just one video, a lot of videos, I think maybe more than 50 videos, I guess, on REST API, how to do various things, how to fetch Jira data and dump it to a CSV file. And then of course, when you have a CSV file, then you can do whatever you want with it, right? So this is something I thought I'll probably share with you today in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.